Namaste, yogis. Welcome to practice. Welcome to another yin class. And for this hour or so, we will focus on the water element. And the water element is the most yin element there is, according to traditional Chinese medicine. Really about that feminine energy, about surrender, being in the moment, and trying to let go. Water element is connected to the season of winter, and winter is where most of us on earth like a winter sleep. So really get into that winter sleep kind of mode, that feeling of surrender, while we stretch the back of the body. So the water element is connected to the back of your body. Forward folds, lengthening from the heel all the way up to the crown of the head over towards the eyes. Stretching the kidney and the bladder meridian, and also the inner thighs will be supported and practiced today. All right. We will start in caterpillar pose, meaning that you bring your legs forward. And then you will find a forward fold, but you have multiple options here. You can bring a prop underneath your knees. You can bend your knees if that feels good. You can even lift yourself up slightly onto a bolster to have the sits bones rolling a little bit more towards the front. Feet can be super heavy. Let them drop open towards the side. Let the legs be soft. And then make your way towards your forward fold, your caterpillar pose. Take your time to find yours. Take your time to yet again transition from moving, prepping, getting ready for this practice, and finding your way into stillness, finding your way into the stretch, targeting the back body. So you might feel it in your calf muscles, your hamstrings, the backs of the hips, the whole spine, the neck, and the head. Tune your awareness inward and let the breath be of help as you surrender into this pose with every exhale a little bit more. Notice how much you can surrender at this point. And all answers are welcome, all answers are okay. How much can you make your head heavy? And your shoulders, can you rest them onto your spine, heavy? And your arms, even the palms of your hands and your fingertips. They don't have to reach for anything. Feel the weight of your hips. Feel the heaviness in your legs. Wherever they are, can you soften them?
Maybe you notice that over time your upper body comes a little bit closer toward your lower body. Perhaps you feel that the stretch we create here literally makes space, creates space into your tissue. Tuning inward to observe the breath and what happens into the deeper layers of your body without judgment, comparison of a previous practice. Observing it with compassion and curiosity. Notice how the pose feels, and then find one more breath in and out through the nose, and then gently, further at the time, rise your upper body back up. Head is heavy and soft, arms are soft. And when you come to sit up straight, notice the echo of the pose, the sensation over the backside of your body. Maybe you like to bring yourself a little bit towards the back, open the chest. You can bring some movement in your legs, maybe this windshield wipe kind of movement. Keeping the awareness and your attention inside of your body, where you feel the tissues of the stretch. Then for your next two poses, I will turn myself towards the camera. Stretch your right leg out. I'm trying to mirror you here, but you know that I sometimes have an issue with giving you the right cue with the right or the left. So always make sure that you do both sides. But this time, try to bring the right leg out straight. Bring the left foot into the thigh. Feel the bend into the left knee. Perhaps you like to have a block underneath that knee, finding a subtle stretch over the inside of your thigh here. And for this pose, we will turn the shoulders towards your right leg. So you find a little bit of a twist into the spine. And then you recline over your right leg. So you start to feel the stretch over the back side of your right leg. A small twist and an opening at the lower back here. Maybe there is a block or a bolster underneath your head for support. Find out how you can rest here. Taking those few moments again to wiggle yourself into the pose. Allowing your right leg to be soft again. So your toes might flip open towards the side. And with the breath, you can scan your body and how much it can surrender into this pose today. And maybe help it surrender a little bit more. Forward folds have that beautiful effect of calming down your nervous system as we stretch the whole backside over the body and even over the head. Really great poses for you to use and to choose to balance out an overstimulated mind or a busy day. Balance it out with the most yin-like energy there is in this water element. Taking care of our energy levels. Finding that balance again of doing and being. And can you make yourself even heavier in this pose? Breathing over the backside of your body. Noticing the stretch. And take one more slow breath in and out. And with the help of your hands, gently rise back up again, shoulders above your hips. Maybe hands towards the back. To open up the chest and counter, keeping the eyelids soft. And maybe wiggle again a bit with the legs. Notice any changes between the left side and the right side. Taking that moment in between the poses to rest, to be aware of all sensations. And when that feels complete, glide your way over towards the other side. So this time you extend your left leg away. So make sure that there is that small V shape again. Your right knee is towards this side, right foot into your thigh. Maybe again that block underneath for support. Hips stay towards the front and then open your chest. So rotate your chest towards your left leg as you will find that twist into the spine. Opening the lower back, opening the spine and the back of your left leg. Fold over the leg. Take your time to wiggle in. Use any props. I like to bring a prop underneath my right elbow here for support so I can really rest my right arm down. And give yourself the time and the permission to soften into the pose again. Tell your muscles that they can relax as much as possible, and also that they have all the time to get there. Yin practice is not a time to reach for a certain goal or outcome. This yin practice allows you to be into the moment and to surrender whatever might pop up. And maybe you notice subtle changes in the stretch as you open up more, as you surrender perhaps a bit more. Invite it all in. And find one more breath here, soft and slow. And then bring yourself up further at the time. Perhaps your fingers towards the back. Maybe some movement into the legs. Staying soft and keeping your awareness inward. Notice the echoes of the poses and your energy level. Right. Next pose is a reclined butterfly. Countering the forward folds and putting emphasis again on the inner thighs. Guide your bolster or your props onto the back of your mat. Come to sit onto the mat with the sit bones onto the floor, the bolster behind you, feet together, knees towards the side, maybe blocks underneath your knees for support if the stretch on the inner thighs feels challenging today. That can differ every day, and I love to have blocks here not to overstretch the thighs. And then come to recline over that bolster, wiggle a bit so your shoulders and your head can rest. Your arms can be in any variation. You can rest them onto your legs, onto your belly, onto the floor. And the more you guide them next to you, the more you will feel a stretch over the front of your shoulders. So find the pose that works for you. And use the breath again to help the muscles and the deeper layers of your tissue relax. From the crown of the head towards the fingertips and towards the toes. Allow your body to soften. Here in this kidney meridian, which we target now around our inner thighs, is the storehouse of our energy according to TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. And the more we use that energy, the more we are doing, the faster that energy is burning out, like a candle, the wax of a candle. The more we balance the doing and the being, the slower our life energy, that candle, is burning out. We only have one candle in life, and helping us to balance the doing and the being here, we nourish the rest and allow the candle to burn down a little slower. And let your breath be softly present here to help you to soften and surrender a bit more. And then find one more breath in and out. And with the help of your hands, you can guide your knees back to center. You have the option to roll over towards your favorite side. And remove the props away from the mat and to come lay down onto your spine again or stay onto your side. You notice the echoes of the pose around your chest area, your shoulders and your inner thighs. Notice how you feel. Whatever sounds appear around us, whatever happens around us, the things we cannot control, can we keep our attention inward or close to ourselves? Feeling the breath flowing in and out of your body. Feeling the effects of that slowing down. And take a handful of breaths wherever you are. And then rise up into a seated position. For the next pose, you will find a child's pose. And let's first guide the knees together so you have one beautiful leg here, so that we can really round the spine and fold forward and find the length over the back body and the lower back. You have the option to have a bolster in front of you to relax your head on if that feels great for support. Or find your forehead to rest onto a bolster. Find your child's pose. Arms can rest to the front or the back. And if you feel that your hips don't reach your heels today, perhaps you can bring a prop in between the heels and the hips. Beautiful pose that can symbolize that winter sleep. We really make ourselves small and we tune inward. Perhaps you can listen to the subtle sound of your own breath.
Take one soft breath more here in this version of child's pose. And if this pose feels very good here, if you feel that you don't like to change, then please find this place to stay. And otherwise, you're welcome to bring yourself a little bit onto your elbows. Walk your knees as wide as the mat, so you create a V shape into the legs. Toes somewhat together, knees towards the side, and then come to relax again into your child's pose. This time you feel that the chest comes a little bit forward, and you might feel the stretch into the inner thighs again. Again, optional to do this, maybe with a bolster underneath your belly for support. The feminine energy is that beautiful energy that has the quality to really be into the moment. As water can be still in a glass or dancing around the rocks in a small lake, or it can be as rough and wild as an ocean storm where waves are crashing onto shore. The water energy, the water element has that quality to be so soft and subtle and be so heavy and emotional. It really gives into the moment, it surrenders into the moment. And we consist out of water mostly. So sometimes our water, our inner world is as calm as a lake dancing around the rocks, or as heavy as a thunderstorm or a big rain. Find one more breath here. And then take all the time to calm back up. There's no rush. Notice how you feel. You can sit up straight for a moment. Or maybe some movement of any kind. And eventually, bring yourself onto your back. Allow the movements to be slow and subtle. And if you landed onto your back, bring the soles of the feet onto the floor.
Next pose is a supported bridge pose, open bridge pose. Have a bolster close by one of your hands, soles of the feet onto the floor, and then elevate the hips. Guide a prop underneath your sacrum, so that lower part here, your lower back is free. Arms in any variation. You decide whether your feet stay onto the floor or your legs extend towards the front. And the more you extend your legs away, the more you feel that stretch over the whole front side of the body. Really that counter movement again from the forward folds. Feel that compression in your lower back. The higher you guide your hips onto props, the more you might feel that compression. And this pose can really symbolize that state of surrender. As there is nothing that you have to do here. You can fully relax over your prop in order to find that compression in your lower back. I always love to visualize here as if I am floating onto the ocean, completely supported by all the water underneath me. With the sun on my skin, warming my cheeks. And perhaps explore the state of your surrender here. Is it changing throughout this practice? Can you be open to surrender more? And again, there's no wrong or right answer. It's only observation. Notice the state here. Your breath and your muscles. And then breathe in one more time. And breathe out one more time here. If you have your legs extended, please step your feet back onto the mat. Lift up your hips a little bit. Remove the prop. And guide your whole spine back onto the mat. Maybe knees together, feet towards the side to feel the length over the spine. Notice those sensations of that lower back. Compression here. And maybe gently windshield wipe your knees, your legs from left to right. Allowing you to do that super slow. Breathing towards the sensations. And if it feels good, and only if it feels good, you can bring your knees toward your chest to lengthen the lower back again. To lengthen the spine. Maybe curling the sits bones a bit up. Making some circles on your lower back. All slow and gentle. For the next pose, you can stay grounded onto your spine. We will find a twist, and you have the option to find a regular twist, guiding both your legs towards the left side of the mat. Maybe legs, feet, knees interlaced, or perhaps you keep your left leg extended. You guide your bolster or your props next to that leg. You bend into your right leg, and then you bring that right leg over onto the props here for support, making sure that your knee joint and your ankle joint are supported. The lower you guide your extended leg, and the more you have that leg extended, I should say, bending into your right leg, the more you will feel that stretch into the lower back. If you have your legs together and guide them more towards your chest, you will feel a rotation, preferably more in the upper parts of your spine. So take a moment here to find your twist. Your right arm can be wherever it feels good. And maybe your left hand rests soft and heavy on your top leg. And if you've found your twist, again, invite that state of surrender to wash over you. Noticing any stretches, any sensations, maybe on the outside of your right leg. Maybe into your right shoulder. And your head can rest wherever it feels good. Gently breathe one more time, in and out of the nose. And then roll back onto your spine. Find your preferred position with your legs. Find stillness or movement here into the center. Observe the sensations. Observe the breath, your energy level. And then let's switch sides. This time extend your right leg onto the floor. If you like to go for that lower back twist again, so the right leg stays extended, bend your left knee toward your chest. And then with the help of your hands, guide your left leg over the right. Bring the leg onto the prop. Yet again, find your position for your arms to rest, for your head to rest. Take your time to breathe yourself into the twist, into any stretches that might appear. And this side could also feel very different from the previous one. And give yourself the permission to stay open and curious to what might rise up, pops up through the surface. Thoughts, emotions. And find a breath more here in your twist. And gently, gently bring yourself back onto your spine. Maybe soles of the feet onto the floor, both legs extended, or knees towards your chest, neutralizing your spine. staying super aware of whatever sensations are present now. And set yourself up for your Shavasana. Make it as comfortable as you can without any stretch or edge to feel. Maybe a bolster underneath your knees. Perhaps a pillow on your belly. Wiggle yourself into the pose. And before you can completely rest effortlessly here, let's find a breath meditation here together. Dirga Pranayama, meaning that we will breathe in 3 parts and breathe out in 3 parts. You have the option to bring one hand onto your belly or on that bolster and one hand onto your chest to feel. Take a moment to first feel your natural breath flow here, in and out of your nose. And in a moment, you will start breathing and then fill up the belly first. Take your time to arrive there. It might take some time. So as we start to breathe in, we fill up the belly first. Then we fill up the rib cage, and then we fill up the chest. So that 3 part of the breath. And as we breathe out, we will empty the chest first, then the rib cage, and then the belly. As if you're pouring water into the glass, first the bottom, then all the way towards the top. And as you're emptying that glass of water, we first empty down the top part and then the lower part. All right. Exhale here completely. Then inhale to the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. And exhale out of the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale, rib, chest, rib cage, belly. Inhale. Exhale. Continue with your own pace. And if this movement does not make sense to you today, you can visualize it. Or it overstimulates your mind. You can also stick to long, slow breaths in and out. Let's visualize the breath into the belly, the rib cage, the chest. And breathing out of the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Giving all the space to your lungs. Maybe you feel that your breath becomes slower and slower. Giving you that sense of grounding, softness. Helping you to calm down the nervous system. Take 2 more breaths like this. And then gently start to let that breath go. Resume your normal breathing. Reaching that state of effortless awareness. You don't need to control, to hold anything. Find your Shavasana to completely rest here. Very, very gently. Bring your awareness back into your body. Notice the ground underneath you, the sounds around you. The rising and falling of your chest. And breathe back movements, starting small in the fingertips and the toes. Wake up the body your way. Maybe you like to extend your arms, stretch it out. Maybe a deep, big breath in and a sigh out. Oh, that felt good. Let's do that. One more time. In and sigh out. Make your way over towards your favorite side. And rest there, a handful of breaths. Keeping the eyelids soft or the eyes closed. Come to rise yourself up into a seated position. Hands can rest onto your thighs or into your lap. I would like to end this practice with a small poem from one of my favorite books, from Jung Pueblo. Eventually, you start to see changes. Your mind becomes light. The trees look bright, and the air you breathe in begins to feel like food for new opportunity. And life takes on a crisp color pattern. Ups and downs will continue to come, and there is still much to learn. But you are calm now, and do not fear the old storms, which seem to pass more quickly. A new awareness arises to gently remind you that your power is yours to wield and is ready to propel you forward into peace and liberating insight. Spread your hands in front of your heart. And bow your head down as a gesture of gratitude and recognition towards your waters in your body, towards the state of surrender. And I thank you so much for practicing with me today. From my heart to yours. Namaste.